Hello and welcome to another episode of the NCC Audio Podcast, the podcast dedicated to helping you to improve your podcast so you can grow your audience. I'm your host, Nick Chamberlain, and in today's episode, we are going to be talking about adding a video element to your podcast and how to technically do that. So let's get started. And luckily for me, I have Mr. Brandon Manderson, who is my good friend, the co-host, and he is a video guy. Is that a good title for you, Brandon? Video guy?
Yeah, button pusher.
Button pusher.
Edit monkey is another one you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Edit boy. Yeah, anything like that. That's usually what they call me at work.
Well, that's good to know. But Brandon knows.
Or a nerd.
Or a nerd. He's really good at filmmaking and anything video production related. And so luckily I have him on my side hip whenever I have questions. And so I just pull him on out and I say, "Hey, Brandon.
I'm just right there.
How do I do this video thing?"
I'm just right there in his pocket. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we can talk about that today. Today, finally a day I can talk about something that I know.
And you can contribute more, Brandon. So we're going to be going over cameras and accessories for your camera. We're going to be going over how to connect your camera to your computer in recording. And then we're going to be talking about gathering all the video elements and editing it and then publishing it along with your podcast.
Oh, yeah.
You ready for this, Brandon?
Yeah, I'm
okay.
ready. Especially because you and I are going to have to tag team because you have some elements that are good that you use for this, like something you're using today to record your video.
Oh, yeah.
And I have some elements in my head. So we'll tag team that when we get there.
Yeah, that's cool. We'll just talk about everything we're using and our setups.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll help you out if you want to add a video element to your podcast. So
okay.
The first thing you need is a camera. Brandon, what kind of camera should I use? Can I use?
Well, Nick, you can almost use any kind of digital camera that's been made within the last 5 to 6 years, 10 years maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So I am just using right now the camera that I use for filmmaking because it's the easiest one to use. Nick is using one of my old cameras, which looks very good. So everybody go comment on Nick's podcast on YouTube and tell him how good he looks.
Thanks. And so
yeah, any basic camera, any basic digital camera that has video functions
that can connect to the computer.
That can connect.
But
to the
we'll
computer.
get into that in a minute.
It needs to have an HDMI. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Oh no. Oh yeah.
Am I going too
Yeah,
fast?
no, we're just talking about cameras. So could an iPhone work?
I mean, an iPhone could work if you're going to be filming on an iPhone. So the way that Nick and I are doing it right now is we're both sending each other. He's seeing what I'm recording right now. And I'm seeing what he's recording right now. So you don't have to do it that way. That way is helpful. Especially if maybe you want to record if you have a remote guest and you don't want them to send over their video files to you because they're big and bulky and they take up a lot of data. Maybe you're recording on Zoom or something like that. Maybe you're talking to them on Zoom and you can record the screen via Zoom so you can get their feed that way. That's when a camera is going to really help something like that. So, but you don't have to do it that way. You don't have to technically connect your camera to your computer.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You can record, you can just record yourself and then you can put the audio and video together later.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so Nick and I are just deciding to record together. So I see what he's doing. He sees what I'm doing. So we have our cameras connected via HDMI,
Nice.
an HDMI cord. It's usually what you use to plug your television into whatever kind of streaming device you have. If it's, so,
Yeah, let me talk about that
you
for a
have
second.
HDMI. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
Sorry, I'm getting,
my camera, it's like a small HDMI output.
yeah, you have a micro HDMI.
So it's a micro HDMI output of the camera, and then that cable goes into this little Connect device. So what's that Connect device you told me to buy?
Yeah, so you have it's just a capture device. It's not to
device.
be confused with like a capture card you may have heard of
Mm-hmm.
before.
This is dedicated
So
for video
a capture
equipment.
device. This is for video equipment. Yeah. So I'm sure it has other uses too, but when I know how to use it is to capture your video, and put it into your computer. So
Mm-hmm.
you'd think, oh man, I can just plug my computer in. I can just plug my camera into my computer and it'll work and I'll be able to see myself. Well, if you were around for the 2020 stay at home stuff, which I'm sure you were, you know that it doesn't just work like that, and that these capture devices were sold out everywhere along with webcams and all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So these are important because they will allow you to plug in your camera into your computer and allow you to do all sorts of different things with your camera. You can use it as a webcam,
Mm-hmm.
which is the most basic use for it. You can also use it to plug into programs like OBS or ScreenFlow, like Nick is using, and use it to record longer. You can record longer on your camera. Again, something we'll get into.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Nick is using Nick. You got the Atomos one, the Atomos capture device.
I believe so. There's like a little atomic symbol on it, or some kind of symbol. Atmos.
Yeah, I think that
Atomos.
was the one I recommended to you.
Yeah, you know what? I can actually put the link to each piece of the equipment in the show notes. So if you go to nccaudio.com and then you can click the podcast link, I have all my podcasts up there, and I create some nice little show notes where I add the resources.
Wow.
Isn't that so helpful?
That's amazing. So yeah, just go ahead and click on all those links. Nick will hook you up.
Yeah.
The one I use is literally like a very generic one. It's called Blue Tech. I had never heard of it. I got it on sale. It works great. I mean, it works exactly the way I need it to.
Nice. So you would say what we're doing
popular ones
is maybe like a little more advanced level of putting everything together. It's like this,
exactly.
It's the same thing of what you would do if you want high quality audio for you and your guests for recording a long distance podcast.
Yeah.
So then you would record your audio locally on your computer or a portable recording device. And now for us, we're recording our video feed locally, and I'm not recording it. Well, and I'm using a camera to record it, right? And there is an SD card in my camera, so I could record it onto the camera. But the camera I has only allows me to record up to, I think it was 30 minutes or 11 minutes. It's a big difference.
I think it's 30 minutes, maybe 11 minutes. But yeah, and that's a problem with most standard cameras is that they will only record for up to 30 minutes.
So you have to check that out.
Any longer than that.
Yeah, when you're purchasing it, see how long the recording limit is. Because it seems like most photography cameras, they have a video recording element to it, and it looks really good.
Yeah.
But they have a limit to their video recording. Now, Brandon, why would they have a limit to how long you can record for? Seems kind of annoying to me.
Yeah, well, those cameras, they're not actually made for video. They have a video function, but that's not what their sole purpose is. So, as opposed to, I don't know how hard it is I've never coded a camera or coded anything in that matter, but I'm assuming, they say these are our picture cameras, and then if you want to get our video cameras, you got to buy a different camera. So like Nick was saying, like his camera only records for 30 seconds or 30 seconds, 30 minutes. Yeah, it would be really bad if it only recorded for 30 seconds. But so he uses an alternative to that, and he uses, what's the program you use, Nick?
I am now using ScreenFlow. So this is the first time that I'm using it. So ScreenFlow, you change your input. What kind of input do you want for your video? Do you want your USB camera, or do you want your built-in Retina display camera? And same thing, it's just like the audio interface. You click your audio input. Do you want your audio interface with your microphone, or do you want your built-in computer's microphone? So I selected for the video element the USB coming from this Sony camera, as well as my audio interface. So I'm recording the video and the audio element into ScreenFlow. But this is the first time I'm doing it, so I am also recording the audio in Adobe Audition at the same time. Maybe my computer is going to blow up because I have multiple recording things going on at the same time. And I'm connected with Brandon through Discord so we can see each other. And that's also taking my audio and video feed. So it's kind of impressive that the computer is doing all of this right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it looks
that's
like at the
something,
end.
you know, that's something. You got to have a pretty powerful computer if you want to do a lot of this stuff. So if you are just starting out, I do recommend, if you are just starting out and you're like, I want to do video with my podcast, I would recommend, you know, getting a camera that can either, you know, or limiting your podcast size. So maybe it's less than 30 minutes. And recording it locally onto the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So I would recommend that, and then putting it together in post. That's if you don't have a strong enough computer. If you have an amazing, like, crazy PC or Mac or something that can handle all of that, then no worries, man. Plug whatever you want. Plug whatever you want in, and you know, record, you know, the highest quality you can. Yeah. So like what Nick was saying is he has something like ScreenFlow. There's another thing called OBS, which is really popular. You can even use, what's Zoom, right? You can record your screen with Zoom.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of different things you can do.
But the problem with the Zoom is it does data compression. So you're going to have a lot of data loss in your video and audio. So the quality is going to be low. Whereas here we're using full res.
Low quality.
But I am also recording into ScreenFlow, and I'm not sure how the output is going to look. So this is an adventure for us today.
Yeah, so everybody will be able to tell you after they see the video. They'll be like, "Oh, Nick, ScreenFlow, your camera looked so bad, or your camera looked amazing. Oh my goodness."
Yeah. So we'll find that out shortly.
Let Nick know in the comments.
Shortly. Sweet. So now what we're doing right now is we've captured everything. It's all recorded on our computer or on our SD cards in our camera. We have our audio recorded as well in your on your DAW of choice or your recording device of choice. And now you have all of these elements, and it gets kind of confusing. So Brandon will have his high quality video recording, his high quality audio recording, and I will have my high quality video recording and my high quality audio recording. So then what I do from there, I take his audio, he actually uploads his audio into my special upload system for all my special clients. But Brandon, he's a special friend, so he gets to upload it there too. And then after that, I take my audio and his audio and I put it into Adobe Audition. I do all of my dynamic processing, my equalization, my noise reduction, as well as everything else to make it sound great. And I have to line everything up. And there was a slight delay. But in this process, before I line everything up for the podcast, I just apply all the processing on the audio tracks. And then I send the audio tracks to Brandon. And then Brandon, he takes his high quality video element and my high quality video element, which is about 11 gigabytes. So it takes a long time for it to upload to the cloud. And then I can then send it over to Brandon for him to download it. So then he opens up his, it's not DAW. What's the video version of DAW?
Well, nobody calls it this, but it would be NLE, non-linear editing.
Oh, okay.
Software.
So your video editing software. And so he imports the video elements into his video editing software. And then he takes my audio that I sent him with his audio file and my audio file. So it sounds great. And then he's the one that lines it up to the picture, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, I do that.
And how long does that take? Is that hard to do?
Nope. There's a feature in most editing softwares that just synchronizes audio, your audio and video. But your video has to have like a scratch video file, so audio file. So make sure your camera is also recording audio, or else it's going to be really difficult to. It's going to be really difficult, a lot more difficult to sync your audio and video together.
Okay, yeah. No, that makes sense.
And sync just means matching him up. So if that's matching the audio and video, so it makes it look like your words are actually coming out of your mouth, as opposed to like an old kung fu movie, where the dub is completely off,
Oh yeah, that's funny. So right now we're communicating on Discord and there is a delay. So Brandon will be moving his lips and I will hear his voice, seconds later, like quick seconds. And so it's not in sync. The band.
Just a little bit. Just a little Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, exactly. So Brandon, then you have all the elements and you have now synced them up. What do you do after that in the video editing software?
Oh man. Well, now what we do is a little thing called your J, K, and L buttons. And those are used on all sorts of editing softwares. And what that'll do is it'll speed up your footage and it'll reverse your footage and stop your footage. So the L button will let you speed up, because if you want to listen through a whole podcast while you're editing, that's great. But a lot of times it's like, okay, I just really want to get this done, so I'm going to find all the points I need to cut it. Mm-hmm. So you listen through it. If Nick and I like stop in the middle of our recording to be like, oh man, sorry, Nick, did I say something that was really, really stupid this time? And he'll be like, yes, you did. So we'll be like, okay, well, we'll just cut that out. And then, so then, you got to listen for those things, for those little breaks and stuff that you have within your actual recording. So that's what you do. You just go through, you make your edit on it. If you want to throw up any kind of graphics or any kind of pictures or anything like that. If maybe you have a podcast about historical events and you have some old footage of like Vietnam or something like that you want to throw in. That's when you would do that.
Nice. So it's kind of turning into like a TV show now at that point. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Nice. And then after you did all that, it's ready to go. And now you take all of those elements in your video editing software, and for audio, it's bouncing down, but for video, it's exporting.
Exporting, yeah. Or rendering.
Exporting. And then you render and export that into a MP4 file.
Yep, that works.
Yeah, something like that. And then
yep.
And then after that,
H.264.
H.264. Export settings, H.264, MP4. And you name the file, you save it. And then Brandon will re-upload that file to my Dropbox. And then I will upload that to the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And then the work doesn't end there. You have to like title it. You have to come up with the description. You have to come up with keywords. You have to download YouTube Buddy, apparently.
Make a thumbnail.
make a thumbnail. Like I have no idea how to make a thumbnail. Brandon's really good at making thumbnails. If you go to Let's Get Rolling YouTube, Let's Get Rolling Films YouTube channel, you can see all of the thumbnails he's created, as well as the thumbnails for the NCC Audio YouTube channel as well.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
Yeah, I've made a couple of thumbnails.
And what software do you use to create these thumbnails?
I use Adobe Photoshop.
Cool.
Again, there's other stuff you can use. I don't know what they are. Actually, what's it called? If you do download that TubeBuddy, it's called TubeBuddy. That's just a helpful tool for using YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a little thumbnail editor in there, so you can make thumbnails within that.
Oh, neat.
So that's pretty cool, and it's like Photoshop light.
Okay.
So it's like ultra basic Photoshop, but still pretty cool.
Yep. And I mean, I'm also thinking about it. If you want a simple video editing software and you have a Mac, the ScreenFlow works really well. It does all the cutting, and you can add elements and text and everything to it as well. And it's super simple.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the GarageBand of audio. I don't know.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of just drag and drop.
Oh,
but it's very
easy.
intuitive. Yeah. So, I don't know, Brandon. That kind of does everything that we need. Anything else we need to make all this happen when doing a video podcasting? Oh, big one. Lighting.
Oh, yeah.
So once you have all the technical
That's true.
stuff set up, now you got to make it look good. And so this is a lot of trial and error, and or going to your local college, community college, and taking a course in lighting, or buying a course online on how to light your videos, or start YouTubing how to light your videos.
Yeah. And I can send Nick a few links to some good lighting videos that I know.
Nice.
If you're interested in watching them. I have a whole playlist on my YouTube channel that I'm just like accumulating. I'm finding good lighting videos and putting them together. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So right now for me, I have a bright light here to my left. What's it called? Just like
The sun.
No, it's a plugged in light. I'm looking on the side. It's great
GVM.
GVM. Great video maker. GVM. You're right. I have two GVM. They're the 800D RGB, so I can turn it red, blue, and green, and it makes different colors, because with red, blue, and green, you can mix them to make new colors. Cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I have two of those. One's slightly blue over here, and one's at 5200 K. What is it? What are we?
Kelvin.
Kelvin. Okay, that's we are. And then right now I just turned on this other light right here. It's just a desk lamp. Is it too bright? Do you want me to change it, Brandon?
No, looks good.
Okay, cool. And then, so I have three forms of lighting, as well as my blinds are slightly open to give some more daylight sunlight. And then you, Brandon, what's your lighting setup like in there?
Yeah. So right now I have a window on my left.
Nice.
Over here.
Important.
And I think that's actually giving me most of my light. And then I have some overhead lights that I have on a dimmer that are really dim, because if I put them up all the way, I'm going to get really nasty shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're just there to fill in the ambience. And then my last light is I have this little tube light here. It's called a Nan light. It's like I guess it's like a foot long or something. And it's like literally a tube. It's like this. All right, I can show you. It's
kind of like a hot dog, like a foot long hot dog, like a big foot long.
Yeah,
with light coming out instead of meat.
It gets really bright, and I have it actually on an arm, like a metal arm, over my camera, pointing at me. Because I saw that in a lighting video one time, and I was like, "Oh, that's a good idea." And
nice.
So that's what I'm doing. I think the main focus of lighting is to just make sure your face is well lit to begin. You know, make sure that you have good lighting on your face. That's not coming from over your head. You want it to be in front of your face. You know, if you can have it at like a 45-degree angle to hit your face, that'll add nice shadows. If not, that's okay too. And you can just have it like I have it.
Nice. Thanks, Brandon. And I think that pretty much helps us out with figuring out how to do adding the video element to our podcast. It's a little tricky, but if you just take it step by step, you're going to get it done, and then you can start a YouTube channel, and then you can get more content out there, and you can start growing your audience even more.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, Brandon, I want to thank you so much for helping me out today and being on another episode of the NCC Audio Podcast.
Yeah, no problem, bro.
And
anytime.
And I hope you all...
Every Thursday.
It just switches every now and then. Oh, yeah, we record every Thursday morning. I just need to figure out the production schedule and get them out there, because now there's a little more work involved, and my life is currently crazy. But that's okay. But if you found this podcast helpful, please go to Apple Podcasts to rate and review. Please share with your friends. And please go to nccio.com/NCC Audio Podcast to find all of my previous podcast episodes and all the show notes. And of course, if you're looking to start a podcast and you need help with it, please do not hesitate to reach out. Please go to nccaudio.com, fill out the contact form, and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you all very much. This has been a great podcast episode. Thanks, Brandon.
Yeah. No problem, Nick.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
All right.
Signing off.
Bye. See ya.
Peace.
Bye. See you later.